Alright guys, a little different view of the shop. So we got the Bermuda Triangle switched out, as Matt likes to call it, back here. But can walk through here. It's a better fit, I think, you know. Can get through here now. And got a few little spots to fix on this, you know. We're going to try to make it a little nicer so we can do this stuff out here. And the doors will have to come off when we paint it anyway, so we'll probably paint it out there in the, you know, the workshop area instead of in the booth. And I got the Nova over in the booth, or in the paint room, whatever it's called, you know. And got some tires on the back of it there, some skinnies. So those are some 215s. I think you can put it like a 275 under there. I don't know. It's got plenty of room for tire with the shocks moved in and old school mini tubs. So we'll buy some real tires when the time comes, but it rolls now, so that makes it much easier. And what's up, smokers? You hungry? What's up, baby girl? Oh, cat's coming from all directions. It must be dinner time. So tomorrow we'll get this started on the front suspension here. We'll break this down, and I got some new bushings for the control arms. We'll buy some ball joints. Gotta pull the steering box off, replace the rag joints cracked there. So we'll take the box off the frame and clean all that stuff up. Look at all the tie rod ends, the pitman arm, all that good stuff. And buy a new solenoid for the firewall. That one got primed. And I think I'll still be able to use my cable there. It's got the cable that comes from the trunk to the front of the car. It's pretty big, so we're going to try to clean that up and use that over. There's our fuel line. This fuel line used to come up to the regulator, which mounted right there for the nitrous, and there was another one for the motor. So that line's pretty beat up, so we'll probably probably gonna replace that line. It's got some wire ties, you know. It was never very professional. What's up, boy? I think we even got a splice there. So those are the frame connectors. I thought they were welded in. They're not welded in. So if I had to, I could pull the subframe section out, but I don't think I'll need to do that. And yeah, there's the Ford 9-inch back there. Monoleaf with slapper bar, adjustable snubber on the other side on the bar. This car works really good, guys, but it's not very elaborate at all. So it's old school, the drive shaft loop in there. And we're going to clean some of this up, clean the cross member up, and just clean it up in general. It's sort of sloppy under there for sure. What's up, big boy? Huh? We got cats, 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 and more cats. So I've been looking at this door, and it doesn't fit this car with the shit over here. So I see it needs to drop way down, so that's encouraging. With the quarters sort of out a little bit there, so we'll have to do something with that. And this quarter got rusty over here on this side. We're going to clean it up just like the other side. You know, it never got finished, got left out. So I always seem to make work for myself, but we'll get it done. I'm on it now. I'm gonna get it painted. I've been motivated, so I'll get it finished. Might not be perfect, but it'll be pretty nice, nicer than it was. And you know, I can enjoy it for a little while and improve on it as my income goes up, which probably never happened. So you know what I mean? So you got to work with what you got, and this is what I got. So I'll start cleaning it up the best I can. I can't buy a bunch of parts because I don't have the money for that. So we'll work with what we got. We'll go to the junkyard. I got a box of weather stripping, and you know, I need to get some clips for the chrome. So if anybody has any lines on that stuff, you know, the old school chrome clips, I'm gonna have to get some of those. They'll have to be pop riveted, and because there's repair areas and stuff. So So yeah, I know they make a stud gun attachment where you can weld those posts back on, but I don't know. Some of these areas got some Bondo in them, so it might be better just to pop rivet or screw them down. And yeah, that's what we're doing. We'll get that cleaned up tomorrow, get the glass cleaned up, get that door bolted and adjusted up a little better, and see where we're at, you know. But the main focus will be on the front end. You know, I like to get that booster torn off and the firewall cleaned up where I can paint it, and break these control arms down. I thought about buying some tubular control arms, but I just don't have the money, so I already bought the bushings years ago, and the ball joints can't be too much money, so Discount Auto Parts or O'Reilly's, we'll go check those out and see the availability. Probably replace the bottoms and the tops, I would imagine. The tops are got the factory rivets, so they're 1969 or 70, whatever year this car is. So we'll definitely freshen those up. And these bushings are shot just like in the back. All the bushings are bad now from sitting, so we'll have to address all that stuff. But we did get the shop cleaned up, moved around a little bit today. So Hans wasn't able to help me. He went to a football game. So I got everything pushed out and everything pushed back in, and shuffled the deck. Worked on this one quite a bit. Got this cleaned up quite a bit, and you know, a couple more shots on this, and we'll get some primer on it, and it'll be looking better. We'll get this cleaned up and see what we're gonna do. Get the floors sitting in here, and see where we're gonna go with it. Either gonna finish it or get rid of it. One of the two. I'm not storing cars anymore, so that's gonna be my New Year's resolution. An empty garage. I don't mind putting painted cars in here, but I'm not gonna be in the business of storing stuff with primer on it anymore. So, got the core support stripped down. We'll get that sprayed black tomorrow. Clean that up, and that'll be looking a little better. And once we get all the components painted, you know, we can start stacking it back together. Still don't know about the color yet. Just don't know. Have to see what I got in the cabinet, what I can make, and you know, where we're at. I really want red, but I don't know. Just red's got to be one of the most expensive colors. Even cost on it's expensive. So there we go. That's what we're doing. I noticed the subframe's a little dented up on the driver's side over there. I'm going to try to push that back over a little bit, put the porta power in there, and straighten that out. And then I don't know if somebody's noticed the firewall in this car, but had a bad tranny explosion in this car. Put a power glide in here. And the guy packed the thing with plastic explosives. That's not supposed to be like that, you know. If you look at this a little closer, this is pretty fun. This is a cool ride. You can see this cut mark right there. That's where the flywheel starter ring came off the flywheel straight like a spear. And it went through the dash there and sawed the MSD off the firewall and cut the air conditioning box and all the shit that was under the dash down. It was sparking and fire under there, and the piece came down and hit me in the foot, and the whole car was full of fire through all these little holes. And it was quite the ride. Car came off the ground, and the only thing that was left on the cross member was the tail housing. The tranny was gone, the drive shaft was gone, everything. And what had happened was I really didn't understand the whole concept behind, you know, torque converters and, you know, what they did. And I'd always had sort of crappy converters. I mean, the trick back when I was a kid was to get a Vega converter and stick it in the car and give you a little stall speed. And that worked pretty good for a long time, you know. And then I started wanting to go faster and faster, and I got in the, you know, the low 11s. And somebody's like, "Oh, you got to take that turbo 350 out of there and put a power glide in there. It'd be much better." And I always like car to leave hard anyway, but it's a little hard on street tires, and I figured I'd try a glide. And Glide has got the same, it's got a different output shaft. It's got a coarser spline, or you can buy a turbo shaft. And I bought a turbo shaft for it, and went down and actually bought a JW converter or a turbo action. It was a JW. It was a JW. And I put it in the car, and I made the first pass and left no brake, just foot brake the car, and car slowed down a bunch. It went 1130s with the turbo 350, and it went 1170. Not leaving on the tranny brake with the Power Glide, so I was less than impressed, and it was a real, you know, an excited ride. But no signs of what was to come on the next pass, and the next pass decided to leave a little harder, and foot brake that still didn't leave with the tranny brake, and did have a scatter shield that I didn't install on the transmission, and didn't have a flex plate shield. But what happened was I bought a good converter. It was actually a 9-inch or an 8-inch converter, so it was a race converter, and torque converter multiplies the torque, obviously, and the better the converter, the more it has the capability to do that, and you know, the harder it does it. Well, I didn't replace the flex plate. I used a stock flex plate. It was 400, and you know, I had the weight on the flex plate, and it was factory, not a factory, but it was the replacement flex plate, and that flex plate let go, and that's what happened, man. That flex plate exploded. It blew the whole tranny apart, and it blew up about 800 feet, and the whole car came up on the back on the front tires, and all the shit went out from under the car, and I could hear shit hitting the guardrail, bouncing off the double guardrail at Speed World there. And the next day I went out there and actually found the whole clutch pack assembly with the output shaft at the very last turnoff at the very end of the track. And like I said, when I opened the hood, the only thing left of the transmission, the motor was hanging on the solid mounts, and it sawed the back of the motor off, cut the cam plug off the back of the motor, blew the starter off, totaled my headers, you know, did all this damage here. And we found the torque converter over at the circle track the next day. It just stopped right before it went in the lake over there, and it was completely destroyed. Funny story on that was it was a JW converter, and I thought it was a turbo action, and I told the story to the guy that owns Turbo Action, Mike Senior at the time, and I think that's who it was. I don't know. It was when we were racing funny cars, and he told me to send him the converter and he'd fix it. You know, he'd give me another converter. And when I got home, it was a JW converter, not a Turbo Action converter, so that never worked out. So that was a total loss. I gave the converter to a guy named Mike Senior, and I think he ended up having a converter company called Precision Converters, and he cut it open and robbed all the good stuff out of it, and gave it back to me and told me it was no good. So yep, so I'm back to the shitty 10-inch converter, and they've been much safer. Back to the Turbo 350 with a tranny brake with a real low chip in it, you know. So yeah, little Nova story there. It was quite spectacular. This is my second Nova. Andrea totaled out my first one. So been hard on the Novas. I managed to put it back together after all that happened. Obviously I never fixed all that damage, and it blew the gas pedal out too. You know, it sawed all that off, so that's why it's got this Toyota pedal in it with the cable, and it works pretty slick though. So it's no cream puff. It's been around the block once or twice, and yep, I actually got this car from a guy that was at the track when Andrea crashed my first car. I had a 68 Nova, and she totally destroyed it. That's the car that I gave the hood emblem to Chris from. It said Chevy 2, and I'm going to be using that hood on this car. But yeah, she totally killed that car. And these wheels were salvaged off, but the back ones are sort of bent a little bit, but they still get on the track decent. And yeah, wasn't much left, man. The battery got ripped out, fuel pump got ripped out, you know. All the glass came out of the car. I wish I still had some pictures. I used to have some good pictures. It was totally destroyed. She was lucky that she didn't get hurt. She walked out of the front windshield of the car. When we got her out of the car, they took her out of the front windshield. The car hit so hard that all the glass came out of it. The front and the rear glass both came out of the car. So yeah, that's you hear stories about the butyl type glass coming out of the car in accidents, and I've actually seen it happen. She hit the guardrail so hard, man, the car went up in the air. It was wide open. I had a friend that was over at the concession stand, and he's like, man, I heard a small block screaming. I turned around, and your car was up in the sky, straight up in the air, wide open. So it was pretty spectacular. And I only broke one skirt off one piston in that accident, from the motor being wide open and the car flipping over and stuff. So I actually fixed that motor and sold it. So there we go. I got to sand this Bondo down in the morning. I didn't get back on that, but it'll be nice and dry. It is pretty cold here. So 50. So we got the coats out. The humidity's high. So yeah, might have to get the propane heater out tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. It's supposed to warm up maybe. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off because now I'm rambling on. I want to say, glad a couple of you guys got your shirts. Busa 1949, I think. Saw a video where you got your shirts and cut your thumb off on the saw. Easy with the thumbs, man. Now you only got 1.5 thumbs left, so you gotta be extra careful. And yeah, so the sticker thing, I tried to send stickers to everybody, but if you haven't gotten a sticker and you want one, just drop your address there in the inbox. John's got to get me a few more stickers made, but if I could get a list of the guys that haven't got them and still want them, I'll get some more made and send those out. So there we go. Parting shot of the race car crew there. Got Greg's Garage, Tim's Beetle, Lakeside Rancher, Shut Your Face Garage, WTBM 123, and Alberta Climber. So you guys will be riding with me next time we go for a trip down the track. So pretty cool. We got to clean this thing up. It's getting shittier and shittier looking, but it would be pretty cool to take it to the track like this and just race it. So let me go feed these cats. They look hungry. And you guys have a great night. We'll see you in the morning. I saw Bus Ache. Saw your video too, buddy. And I'll get you a sticker coming. So take it easy, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.